Hi everyone, I have another short practice for us, something that can do at any time, just get us moving and breathing well. Yeah, give it a go. So come into a nice comfortable seated position for you and find good posture. Sitting nice and tall, allow your shoulders to relax, allow the jaw to relax. We hold a lot of tension in our face. And just allow your awareness to settle on yourself, settle on your mat with you. So from here, maybe notice, just to get us started, notice how it is that you feel today. Notice maybe if the air is cool on your skin or warmth. Notice the points of contact, so where you make contact with your mat, where you feel your hands on the legs maybe. And then start to notice the movement in the body, that gentle move as you breathe. Slightly expand as you inhale, and then everything contracts as you exhale. So follow the breath now, making it a little deeper, taking a nice deep inhale. And exhale everything out, focusing on the end of that exhale. And from there, inhale, allowing yourself to sit tall and expand, and exhale fully. And one more, big inhale, and exhale to prepare. Okay, so from here, we're going to take a nice big reach out and up. No holding the breath. Breathe easy. Reaching tall. And then on your next exhale, we're just going to rock over to one side, taking one hand down, reaching over, finding a little space in the side of the body, and return to the center. And again, inhale. Tummy is drawn in, reaching up. Maybe you want to lift the gaze this time towards the hands. Bring the hands together maybe, or maybe you're still reaching up. Shoulder blades apart, and as you exhale, coming over to the opposite side. So finding a little space for you. Maybe you like to bounce here, maybe you like a little bit of movement. Yeah, it's all your choice. And release it down. Okay, coming forward. So possibly you've got the legs forward. If that's the case, bend the knees and bring them a little wider. Or if you've got the legs crossed, maybe you can reach a little bit further forward, tucking the head down. Nice big breath coming into the back. And release. So from here, we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So maybe you can just roll over the legs, or you're going to move them off to the side. I'm going to turn. So setting up your tabletop just to begin. Inhale, expand through the front of the body, coming into your cat-cow poses. And round in the back, chin towards the chest. And again, inhale. Expand. Exhale. Round. Drawing the tummy in. Inhale. Extend through the front of the body. And exhale. Round in the back. And then from here, you're going to tuck your toes and we're going to rock our hips back and up for our first downward facing dog. So you might like to move, pedal into one leg and then the other, adjust your stance. Sometimes it needs to be a little shorter or longer, but make sure you're getting as far away from the wrists as you can. Possibly that means you have to bend your knees quite deeply. That's okay. And from here, walking forward to the front of the mat, chest lifting, exhale, allow yourself to fold, softly still, inhale, rise up, pressing the palms, and exhale, release it down. Okay, Surya Namaskara 8, inhale, lift, tummy drawn in, exhale, forward fold, over bent or straight legs, your choice. Inhale, lengthen through the body, exhale, stepping back and lower, knees down possibly, elbows into the side of the body, lower to the mat, untuck the toes, inhale, coming forward with the chest for cobra. Exhale, draw the tummy in, lifting the hips back and up, tuck the toes. And reaching your hips back for downward facing dog, possibly stepping in a little. Focusing on the breath. Oh, just notice my lights are all flashy. Okay, from here, inhale, step or jump to the front of the mat, chest lifted. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, pressing the palms. Exhale, release. We're going again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chest lifts forward. Exhale, step or jump back. And lower from your plank, either with the knees down or maybe you prefer chaturanga. Inhale, lift and back and up. So from our downward facing dog, we're going to take a little twist. So taking the right hand back, maybe putting it onto the floor halfway or holding on to the outside of the left leg. Anywhere. So it could be at the ankle, could be higher up. Your choice. And turn and look under that left side. And placing the right arm down, taking the twist to the right this time. Reaching back with the left arm. Or if you prefer, you can just hold into your steady down dog and release. Bringing the right knee now into the chest as you come into a high plank. Pulling the knee up, placing the foot forward between the hands or move it once you're down. Bringing the left knee down to the mat. Inhale, coming up to our low lunge. So I've come back, taking the weight out of the front foot a little bit, thinking about the hips coming forward, tummy drawn in, chest lifted, shoulders rolling down the back. Maybe you're lifting up, your choice. Okay, so I'm going to come a little bit further forward and down and bring the arms behind, interlace and lift up. So reaching the hands back along the length of the left leg. And still nice and steady with your breath. And release. Bringing the hands to the mat, tuck the toes on the left leg now and lifting that knee up and hold here. Just for another breath. And stepping back, coming back into downward facing dog. From here, moving into the left side, coming into your high plank, lift the left knee firmly up into the chest, slightly round in the back, stepping forward with that left foot and placing the right knee down. Untuck the toe. Setting up your lunge, so coming back to start with, tummy drawn in, thinking about the hip moving forward for our higher version of a low lunge. Yeah, and then we're going to allow it to soften and become a bit heavier down through the hips. And if you wish, sweeping the arms up, taking it into more of a crescent lunge. And then from here, interlace the hands behind and go for that big lift. So I like to keep my gaze forward. You can lift. Here, I find it messes with my balance. And release. Bringing the hands to the mat, tuck the toes in the back leg, and lifting the knee up, straightening up that leg any amount, whatever works for you. Stepping back to downward facing dog again. Okay, from our down dog, giving it a little wiggle, crouching back, we're going to spring forward to the front of the mat, chest lifted, exhale, forward fold, inhale, sitting back and down, rise through the arms, bringing the chest forward, gaze forward, and pelvic floor still engaged. You may be here, that's all good, and come to stand, Samasthiti. Okay, from the front of the mat, we're going to step back, stepping back with my left leg, turning forward and taking myself into pyramid pose. So reaching the chest forward and down, both legs are straight, maybe taking the arms up behind, your choice. And then if you wish, you maybe come a little bit deeper forward and down over that right leg. So release the arms, take the hands down to the floor, keeping the right hand on the floor, and roll the body round and coming into, quite a short stance for our triangle. And then release to the front. And we're going to step forward with that left leg, chest lifted, exhale, forward fold. So this time in the forward fold, we're going to hold for a moment, a little bit longer than a moment. So if you wish, take the toes, chest lifted, exhale, forward fold. So thinking about bringing the weight forward into the feet, hips are rising, legs are firm, tummy's drawn in, ribs are drawing closer to the thighs, and there's space in the shoulders. Inhale, chest lifts, hands to the waist, soften the knees, come all the way up to stand. Stepping back with the right foot now. So coming into the same stance again, straightening both legs and sending left hip back as you come forward into our pyramid. If you wish, you're interlacing the hands behind, lifting up and taking the fold towards that left leg. Thinking center the chest over the knee, maybe gaze to the toes, or you can tuck the head, forehead to the shin if that feels good in your practice. Release the hands, lifting the chest, looking forward to begin, and then adjusting for triangle. So it might mean that you have to move the feet as well so that they're a bit more lined up, and rolling open to the right side now for triangle pose. Long, steady breath. And release. And again. This time we're stepping forward again. Inhale, lift the chest. Feet are hip width apart. And if you wish, we can come into the second version of our forward fold. So slid the hands underneath, Parahastasana. Chest lifted, tummy's drawn in, elbows coming wide, and come into your deep forward fold. Pressing the toes into the wrists, keeping the weight evenly distributed over the feet. Inhale, chest lifts, exhale, hands to the waist, and come all the way up to stand. Okay, coming into tree pose, a little balance. So turning the right leg out. Your practice today, wherever that is, you might be working on the inside of the calf, you might be pulling the foot up and bringing it to the inside of the thigh, or you might prefer to come into our bound half lotus with the arm wrapped around the back. Wherever you're practicing, you're standing tall, you're rooting down through the standing leg. Standing leg is strong and firm. Tummy drawn in, ribs drawing back as well. So if you're in your tree, you're maybe reaching up, thinking about that length. And lift. And release. Bringing the right leg down. Okay, coming into the left, turning through that external rotation in the hip, taking your version of tree, wherever that is for you today. You might be still holding on to the hips if that felt better for you. If you are in the bound version, maybe you're thinking about what am I thinking about? The hold. You don't have to take the bind. That's what I was trying to say. Focus on the breath. Find a point to focus on. Maintain your balance. And release. Come into the front of the mat if you're not there already. Inhale, rise up, press the palms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, step or jump back and lower. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. From downward facing, coming forward, cross the legs and sit. Bringing the legs out in front. Coming into forward fold. So sitting Dandasana to start with. Nice lifted through the body into our staff pose. Legs are firm. Gaze to the toes. And from here, soften the knees, coming forward, taking the toes or the ankles. Chest lifts. Exhale, forward fold. So wherever you are in your practice, focusing again on the breath. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale there. So cross the ankles, give it a little squeeze into the body, reach in the chest and the arms forward for instead of doing our vinyasa. And sitting back down. Taking the right foot now to the inside of the left thigh, allowing the knee to roll out to the side, sitting tall for Janu Shirsasana, and then forward fold. So maybe taking the grip of the wrist and hooking it over the foot, or you're laying the hands next to the leg as you come forward and down. It's all the action of a forward fold with that right hip turning out. So as you come up, take the right hand to the outside of the left leg, so maybe holding onto the left foot or further along the side of the leg, and twist towards that left side. So those of you that wish, once you've done the seated twist, you may prefer to come into a fold. I like the upright version. And release. Taking the right leg now up to stand. And we're going to take Marichasana A, so keeping the heel as close to the hip as we can. We're not doing A at all, we're doing C, which is the twisted one. So taking the left arm around the shin, taking the right hand behind, and look behind. Those of you familiar with the bind, you're moving the knee across, bringing the shoulder to the outside of the knee, maybe taking the hand wrapped around behind and clasp with the right hand. You don't have to bind these poses. It just creates a different tension, a different focus. And release. Bringing the right leg forward. We'll go for that little squeeze instead of the vinyasa. So squeezing the heels in towards the bottom. Hands can be forward. Maybe you're going to go for a little lift this time. And place it back down. So coming into Janu Shirsasana on the left. Taking the left heel close. Inhale, sitting tall. Exhale, taking your grip wherever that is along the length of the leg. Chest lifted. Exhale, forward fold. Focusing back on your breath whenever you can within your practice. Maybe notice In the pose while there, any place that you may be holding tension or gripping on, and allow that to soften with the breath. Inhale, chest lifts, exhale, release, and then prepare for the twist. So taking the hand to the outside of the right. So left hand outside of the right leg and twist to look behind. Right hand's come into the floor, just behind my hip. And release. Left leg up to stand. Marachasana C on this left side. So wrapping the right arm around the shin and turning to look behind. If binding is in your practice, you're leaning back to allow the leg to come across the body so you can tuck the shoulder to the outside of the knee. Turning the arm so thumb's facing down, hand comes up behind the body so you can catch with the opposite hand. So this is something that can be quite confusing when you first start to bind. It can also be very difficult. So don't force anything. And release. So go for the little lift again, or this time maybe you want to come from vinyasa. So tuck the legs under, jump back, and lower. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Jumping forward to sit. And we're going to lie down. Come into a little back bend practice. So entirely up to you how you practice. You might want to practice the upward facing bow or stick with bridge pose, whichever feels good for you today. Inhale, lifting through the hips, tummy expanding, not blowing out, but lengthening is the word we're looking for. Pushing into the shoulders, pushing into the heels, lifting through the front of the body, maybe interlacing the hands, rolling the shoulders underneath. Long and steady with your breath. And release it down. So those of you who do practice wheel pose or upward facing bow, now would be the time to put that into your practice, bringing the hands over the shoulders. And then as you inhale, lift, placing the head down and just prepare, push into the hands and lift up through the body as much as possible. Tuck the chin and slide it back down. So if you're in bridge or bow, coming back to lie down, one hand on the belly, one on the chest. Taking a big inhale. Exhale, release. Squeezing the knees into the chest and allow yourself to hug a little bit there. And reaching legs up for legs up the wall position. So thinking here about the same action as your forward fold. So you're still drawing from the tummy, still bringing the thighs towards the ribs, pushing down into the arms, very active, reaching the toes up towards the ceiling. And if you wish, coming into shoulder stand. So from here, it's a little lift up and reaching the legs up overhead, just for 1 or 2 breaths. So either staying here or in your half shoulder stand, or we're going to bring the toes towards the floor behind, keeping the legs firm. If your feet reach the floor, you're bringing the hands away from the back for a halasana or plow pose. Inhale, lift through the legs And exhale, rolling it back down. From here, bend in the knees to one side and coming into lying down twist. So whatever you want to practice, bringing one knee to the floor, rolling them together, twisting them together, rolling together. And inhale, bring them back to center, giving a little hug, and go into the other side. So we're starting to slow down now and take a bit of rest. So taking a nice deep inhale and full exhale. And then back to center and one last little hug. So taking time to allow your body to relax, allow the muscles to relax after a little bit of work. It's entirely up to you. You could lie down here, take 5, 6, 7 minutes of rest, or maybe you're ready just to come to sit. Allow the eyes to softly close, taking a deep inhale and a full exhale, and again, and taking note again about how you feel emotionally, physically, and go about your day and have a good one.